Welcome to a new episode of Old School Cannabis Project with myself, Blue Skies, Smoke Gorrich, and our popular and most been on the show times guest, Spencer, in New York. How you doing,
you guys
Spencer?
doing? Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the show. As I say, or tried to say, you're probably the guest that's been on the most, and good to have you back, bro. How's things
Yeah,
been going up in New York?
pretty good. Pretty good. Our season here, at least for me, has been pretty smooth sailing. We've had a pretty dry, fall here to finish, and that is something that I normally don't experience. Usually, I'm putting easy up tents up, and I'm out with leaf blowers, blowing the plants off, shaking them constantly. Uh, you know, and there's been none of that. It's been absolutely gorgeous. We've had a little bit of rain, which has been good, and just sun, more sun than rain, and wind. Wind is good to dry them off this time of year. I think that's a good thing. And I'm noticing from what I've been doing, because that was the thing. Uh, the fall would come and we'd have these beautiful plants and beautiful buds, and they would just rot because we would have these cold, rainy seasons. This year's been pretty good, but what I've been doing is trying to find, genetics through what and what I see would work good, that are resistant to mold and mildew and our climate here. And it's been a pretty long struggle, to nail it. But I think I finally did it. This year, probably 80% of my friends are struggling with bud rot and having to put up easy ups. And I know how that is. It's a struggle. And um, you know, I've been researching around here in my neighborhood, like literally like in my town, for all the old guys that I know have been growing, since the 50s and 60s. A lot of them are gone, but there's still a handful of people that knew them, and they're in their 70s, 80s. And the one guy, I talk about this, the Vietnamese strain that he kind of put together from seeds he brought back from the Vietnam War, and he bred for the same thing because we had rainy seasons here. So he bred for mold resistance, and he stayed away from the heavy indicas, the fat, skunky ones like we all like. And he went in a direction of a very, sativa, euphoric, not in the couch type, you know, genetics. And he did really well. I mean, it grows like bamboo. You see the pictures. The buds are far apart. I mean, I've done no training at all except have a wire that I put the buds through sometimes. Like, I don't trim or anything. Those plants are natural. They look like octopuses, they're all spread out. And that's what he had done, and I kind of like did some selecting and crossed that into my skunk OG, and it ends up being like a pretty decent cross for this area. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, man. Well, it's good to hear you're having a good end of season because it sounds like your climate's a bit like what I've had to put up with in times past in parts of Europe, where you can have a great summer, but then you're going to be absolutely fucked by a shit fall,
Yeah.
I've just got some bad memories coming back now about high winds and rain and just plants having their branches broke, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the worst, man. And
It
also
is.
rock can be a bitch, but then it would be great to have a fucking awesome season every single season, but sometimes having those seasons make you appreciate the good ones even more.
Yeah, that's farming. You don't know. I mean, a lot of I've had years where we've all had bumper crops, the apples, the tomatoes, the cannabis. I mean, one year we had 14-foot plant. We didn't anticipate it, but they were 14 foot, all of them. We had so much weed, tubs full, you know. and it wasn't
Yeah.
even, we didn't plan it, but it's the seasons kind of change, and it kind of rotates, I think. And if you're ready for it, then that's good. But if not, like you said, it's you spend all this time taking care of these beautiful plants, and they pretty much go through 75% of their life with no problem, and then you get all this rain and wind and cold weather, and then you have rot, and branches break off. I mean, I've had plants break right off at the ground. They get so heavy with and it's
Break
definitely,
down the fucking middle. It's just
yeah.
fucking
I
horrible.
mean, I've actually, like, gone out there with all my rain gear on at night and just been so stressed because we're talking like the first week in September. I've had to struggle, and I usually don't harvest until the second week in October. I like to let them go, but the comfort zone is that third week in September to second week October, and we're right there right now. And they're just they're just looking they're looking really good. I mean, I have to say this is like the best years I've ever had as far as not struggling and finishing out, letting them finish out. Like I was saying, the one year, it was probably the first week of September, and it started raining. It wouldn't let up, and 1 week goes by. We had one day of sun. Then I started seeing the bud rot at the top of the plants, and the second week of you know September, and here I am. I probably have lost a couple plants by now, and I
Yeah.
just went out there and was pretty pissed off, and had to take them all down. And I'm shaking the plants, the water. I mean, it was just a freaking mess. And then I bring them in, and you know this is a discussion that we're going to probably get into right now, and it's going to change a little bit. But the my I didn't have any amber trichomes on these plants when I did pull them, and so they were cloudy, and I knew I was early, and I pulled them, brought them in, and it ended up being like some of the dankest bud that I've harvested and cured to date. And it was weird because like the rain is cold, they know that they're dying, they're done, they're all cloudy, they're almost done, and they like ripened on the vine basically. Like I hung them up, and as they were drying, the trichomes turned a little bit amber, and I noticed that. It was only like a day I was off, and
Mm.
it ended up capturing those terps pretty well in it. And that's the one thing that me and Brett, my partner, are not struggling with, but we're like trying to figure it out. And that's how to get the skunk to stay in the bag, because like it comes and goes. Like I've gone out there and you don't even smell it, and then last night my whole yard smelled like I had skunks running around, like bad, like. And it just comes and goes, and we can't figure it out. I don't know if it's the sun, the heat. It's just bizarre, to me.
Well,
I
with
had
regards staying in the bag, actually retaining that smell post harvest and after drying, I think that's entirely just plant dependent, man, because there's skunks that do and skunks that don't. As simple as that.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah,
some that change or lose. I've experienced some that change or lose the skunk smell after drying, and I've seen some keep it exactly the same for an entire fucking year. So it's down to
yeah,
the plant. You find
yeah.
the right one that keeps the smell after drying, and you just keep it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because there is ones that I've had that like, really had a pretty good skunk smell, and then you lose it, and then some kind of bring it takes on while you're curing it. It definitely is seems to be in the plant itself, in the genetics, and we're getting it. I mean, it's this year.
When I say it's like down to the plant, I mean literally that individual plant. It's down to individual plants whether they do or
Yes,
not.
yes, and I because basically with the skunk OG, it's clone only. We've had it
Yeah,
over
yeah.
30 years. So I don't have that the variety of skunks I've had in the past. When I was younger, that's all we had around here was the skunk weed, and then we kind of everybody lost it. And then I was lucky enough to I was looking for it, and it came to me 30 something years ago. I got it, but it's just a one plant. So the variety isn't there. That's why I'm breeding it with a lot of things, and I'm getting these amazing, amazing results.
Yeah, that's good, man. Fucking
You know,
I've seen like a lemon skunk. I've told this story before. Like a lemon skunk, I remember clearly the day of harvest. Like fruit flower, it would alternate between skunk and lemon or mixture of both. But on the day of harvest, it was predominantly like a lemon.
mhm.
And then literally one or two, I think it was maximum 2 days, just cut and hanging on the line, and it was the foulest fucking skunk possible.
Yeah, I
So
love that. And I
weird.
noticed that. Yeah, yeah, that it's kind of unpredictable in a way. I feel I don't. I mean, when I'm trying, that's the one thing that I'm trying to figure out because like I could go out there right now and not smell it. Like it smells like an earthy kind of like tangy note, and the skunk's not there, and I'll start freaking out. And that's the thing for me. I like it. Just I like to get that terp in there, and I
Well,
don't
you've got
know.
those seeds from Father Time, haven't you, at the minute? The RKS Lemon Pledge, yeah?
Yeah, we have them. We ran them pretty much all out.
How
The
did they
Brett,
do?
we have at the farm. I kind of separated things this year, and I have a few different areas because we're still doing R&D. But
Yeah.
what I ended up with, I did have a RKS male that was pretty skunky. It had a nice smell to it. Then the rest of them that I had were like the lemon kind of musky, hazy type, plants. And you could tell it your genetics. You could tell that it was you. I mean, pretty much me and Brett know now. And Brett, I split the seeds and gave him some to Brett. Brett ends up getting one that he's really happy with. He's confident that it's definitely going to be a skunk, and it is. You
Mm.
can smell it. The stem rub is very similar to our skunk OG. It's not a lemony smell. It's a very um, when you do a stem rub, it's either going to be some kind of fruit or skunk, or at least you got some kind of idea, and that's what this plant is leaning towards. And I feel pretty confident that that's going to be one of those RKSs like Father Time,
Yeah.
had, and that's you know pretty impressive. That's to have like I've been doing this, a while and not had nobody that I could sit and talk to like we are that would recognize or even know what I'm talking about. And it's nice to see these genetics coming through that are very similar to like we're all in this group of having this dank bud. Everybody else can go fuck off. Cookies.
Oh, Spence, I'm glad you mentioned this, bro. Fucking, we've talked in the past about having our little group. I got a
Yeah.
new member to join us. I'm just, because I literally speaking to him today. And yeah, he was saying he'd love to come on a podcast where as a group of us who've
Yeah.
all got who've all got skunks or various things that we found in the genetics.
Yeah.
And nobody could argue with a whole bunch of people saying what they found. Like, I'll shout out his name on Instagram so people can check him out. He's Strain and Seed Saver Open, all one word.
Okay.
Strain and Seed Saver Open. And he
Okay.
posted a really beautiful RKS yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, Speds.
Not
I don't know if
yet.
Rich, can you get it on the screen? Maybe Rich has disappeared. But yeah, he hit me up today actually,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, he's going to come on an episode of the podcast. But he found one. I'll just read his post now. The one and only Roadkill Skunk, #7, smelling of a dead ass skunk on the side of the road, stinks up my whole fucking grow. And this, my friends, indeed came from a pack of Boss blessed to me by Blue Skies Vienna Skunk. I said I was going to grow out this stuff and give you all the real reviews on the stuff. And what can I say? Some of the best I've ever grown. And, but
Awesome.
he's actually had, as many people do, some blowback. You won't mind me playing this message from this morning. Let me know if you can hear this, Spence.
Okay.
Yeah, eventually, man. I'd like to get on the podcast. Sure, we could set something up. Fucking getting a lot of blowback, dude, on this Roadkill Skunk. People do not like the fact that I found it in your shit, bro. But I keep telling them, like, dude, like, fucking, it don't matter where the genetics come from, dude. You can be fucking Santa Claus or fucking Hitler. Like, I don't care. Like, good genetics are good genetics, bro. And I'm giving credit where credit's due, and that's to you, you know, to Blue Skies Vienna. And I'm doing exactly what the fuck I said I was going to do. I said, you know, I was going to make my mind up for myself about you. I was going to grow your stuff out, and I would let people know the truth. And people don't like the fucking truth, bro. So don't know what to fucking say, you know? Oh, well. But I'm excited as fuck, dude. I found some killer shit in your stuff.
Yeah, so he's a cool guy. He said he'd come on a podcast and be part of a group of people. So yeah, man, the ever-expanding skunk fam. But yeah, he's a good guy. We'll be able to trade genetics and make sure nothing's lost again, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, it's you know, I got a bunch of that too. You know, people are doubting, and you know, I just, you know, they just kind of go away because they try their shit, and there's just there's no denying what we all are doing and what we have. If you're, you know, it's there, and it's really a shame that some people won't accept it and they just start hating and casting all this bullshit. But I think that you know, at least on my end, it's totally quiet. You know, they won't even fucking say nothing to me anymore because just look at the pictures, look what we've been doing and talking about. You know, and Brett, by the way, is like really excited to be working with your stuff. He likes it, you know, and we don't really keep too much stuff. And it's nice to have the opportunity to work with real genetics. And while we're sitting here watching everybody, or at least I know I am, and like I kind of feel bad in a way because they're just so uneducated, and they'll argue with me about cookies and runts and high THC cannabis, you know, plants and all that shit. They'll just sit there and argue, oh well, it's personal preference. And you know, this whole generation that's built up on the recreation market and high THC is they're confused about what real weed is. You know,
bro, how can you have a preference without choice? You need a
that's what
variety
I'm
of
saying.
choices to
Yeah,
choose
yeah,
from to
yeah,
have a
and
preference.
yeah, and well, that's what it is. And they've all so like you know, for instance, I have, you know, I make full spectrum, you know, RSO gummies. I make, and a lot of my friends love them, you know. And but then there's that the group of people that are like, I don't know, and they're all the young kids. They want to, you know, have that high THC kind of smacked in the face high, and then it's gone. But there's no medicinal things going on. You know, you're not feeling any aches or pains go away. You're not, you know, you're not relaxed.
It
You're not.
sounds like the crack of weed, bro, how you described it then. I've never actually tried
Yeah.
crack, but I'm told this is just a
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
a short-lived high.
Well,
And it's,
yes,
you know,
and it makes complete sense that they went with it because you got to keep smoking it. The kids just keep burning it down. They got to buy more weed. They got to buy more concentrates, whatever it is. It just, you know, and that's what I've been doing is asking people, like, you know, how long is your high last for? 20 minutes? I mean, like, I have stuff that I can smoke a joint in the morning and I'm good probably till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
nice.
But I smoke a lot, you know, like, but, you know, it's like, you know, yes, there's no grading of weed. There's no, you know, no education when it comes to the high THC products because that's what it all is, you know, right now.
Bro, you just need to get on a Gangier course, man.
Yeah. Uh,
but you're right, and it's like a constant theme of this show. Like, you can't talk shit on the kids, man. You can't fucking say nothing really bad about them because they've just not got the experience or the opportunity to have the experience. But
Right.
it's kind of like beating your head against a brick wall or trying to describe something that they can't imagine just because they've just never come across weed that's got such diverse like experiences and
Yeah, no, I
feelings,
know.
you know?
Well, it's been a long, long, long time that, you know, I guess we could say California has been force feeding us shit. And
Yeah.
like, it's been shit. And I can't wait to see what they're capable of doing because I'm not impressed at all. If anything, they take the sour diesel from here and they grow it out and it's shit.
Yeah.
You know, they should just stay to what grows good there. And, um, I don't know. I don't want to like be down on them, but like I've seen too many loads come through that are just been shit, and it's not cool. They know what they're doing. They know what they're getting away with. The only reason they're sending it here is because they can get away with it. But it's I don't know. I see there's a shift. They're trying to get away from all the colors and all that stuff, but we'll see.